Welcome to GNN. I am your anchor, Red Nebula, and here's what's happening in your part of the system. Breaking news this yesterday evening, as it has been confirmed that Grotmar has finally been captured by famed bounty hunter Bonesy Jones. We will have a live feed of the public humiliation and execution later in the broadcast. For now, we turn to Ace McKinley for more. Take it away, Ace.
This week's death count is brought to you by Kablooey Ammunition. When you're racking up bounties, can't hurt to add a little kablooey! Or can it? First off, we have Scooby-Doo, ex-detective space cop wanted for tearing off a Glip-Glop's head while accusing him of being a thief in an alien suit, brought in by, yet again, Elvis Fudd, for a solid 70,000 woologs. No mystery to that one. And this week's Top Wanted poster features Donald Trump for the amusing reward of 2 woolongs. Brought in dead or alive, it really doesn't matter.
Thanks, Ace. How will the weather affect tonight's festivities, Steve?
Not at all, Red. Roxnar Glofbar has returned from the ancient past, successful in his goal of gaining telepathic control of all weather. Starting December 8th, 2015, around the noon hour, he achieved the ability to predetermine what supposedly natural catastrophes would befall us in the future, thus changing the history of climate events afterward. Remember Hurricane Katrina 1 through 6? Well, Katrina 2, originally occurring in 2016 with relatively minor damage, just became 1,000 times crazier in the new alternate reality and now mainlines PCP straight into her ear hole. With the brutal weather conditions we are experiencing in this subwinter, expect the end of all life forms with the DNA sequence 3, 11, X, 12, 11D7, 6V, because no cure has yet been found or sought for the death sniffles. Since the weather has now become completely predetermined, a weatherman is no longer demanded. So I'm out. Back to you, Red.
And now, the moment the galaxy has been waiting for. The former Chancellor of planet Big Round Circle, Grotmar, will face his death for treason against the Roxnarian capital. Let's go to Vil Edge Idiot on scene. Vil, what kind of activities can people expect today in celebration?
Yes, hello, Red. On this glorious day, we see the traitor's Grotmar awaiting his death. The festivities are expected to carry on far into this yesternight, and attendees can expect many fun activities, such as kick a Grotmar, pin the tentacle on the Grotmar, and my favorite, Grotmar Ball. Many mixed drinks made with Grotmar's blood are sure to kick the events up to a greater notch this yesternight. I'm getting word that the execution is about to begin. Let's attend.
Come one, come all, and witness the main event. Now tell me, Grotmar, did it feel good putting your hit on me? You want to know how I feel? I feel bad. You know what else makes me feel bad? Getting water dumped on me. That made me feel a little bit better. But all jokes aside, this is a public execution. Now, do you have any last words, former Chancellor Grotmar? I'm not even sure what you're saying right now, Grotmar.
Thanks again for the coverage, Phil. A joyous evening for all the universe to truly share. Thanks for tuning in to GNN. Have a wonderful forever.
I'm like looking over here though. Missing a part from mine.
This week's Death Count is brought to you by Kablooey
So we're still filming the Caesar episode, and I was gonna start putzing around with the leftovers we had. We figured, why not shoot this? So this is what we're gonna call right now is Chef Bites. We're in the kitchen, you're prepping all the stuff for hundreds of people, and you gotta feed yourself with what's kind of hanging out. So we got the heel of our bread from the croutons. We've got an anchovy here. We've got our salad, and I got a couple other things I want to play in here. So this has been toasted off with a little bit of Parmesan cheese on it. We have our salad in here. I'm just going to use my fingers. Make this one pretty. Build that up a little bit like so. Oh yeah, that one's got a nice chunk of dressing on it. That would be nice. And then let's roll this guy up a little bit, twist him around. Here's our anchovy. I'm going to put him up on there. We got these slightly candied nuts I was using from a party the other night. And then I'm going to cut that salt in there. We got a microplane, and we're just going to hit a little bit of lemon zest on. Disco. Nice walking snack for the kitchen. Money.
Hey, I'm Brandon Palmer, bringing you another episode of Pigskin Pundits. Today we are on episode number 9, where Jacob Dodson, or Jacob number 1, will be bringing you NFL news and highlights as usual. And Jacob number 2 will be talking about zone coverage and man-to-man coverage. All that's coming up. Don't go away.
I am Jacob Dodson with the NFL news this week. Let's start with some breaking news. Starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, Johnny Manziel, may be benched Sunday after video surfaced of him drinking and partying during their bye week. This is because in the preseason, Johnny Manziel went to rehab for substance abuse. Dontari Poe has finally put his name in the record books, but not for one that you would think of. Dontari Poe scored a touchdown in Sunday's matchup, which made him the heaviest player to ever score an offensive touchdown. Revis Island, which is usually shut down for wide receivers, may be shut down for all next Sunday after Darrelle Revis suffered a concussion in Sunday's matchup, which may cause him to miss some time. Star running back for the Seattle Seahawks, Marshawn Lynch, may be out for the whole season after suffering a sports hernia, which would cause him to have season-ending surgery. Recently in Sunday's matchup, star running back for the Ravens, Justin Forsett, broke his forearm, and that's not even the worst news. Their starting quarterback, Joe Flacco, tore his ACL at the very end of the matchup. And this is on top of losing star pass rusher Terrell Suggs earlier in the season. And that is all for the NFL news this week.
Hey, Jacob, hey, you look kind of rough. Something wrong?
I haven't been sleeping very well lately. I've been kind of just feeling off.
Okay.
Anyways, we were talking about man and zone coverage last week, right?
Yeah, I think so. The man-to-man defense is where one man covers one other player, and zone defense is where you cover a whole area, right?
Right. And what coverage did I base the whole thing off of?
Cover 2, right? But there's definitely more than that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Cover 2 is pretty simple, right? 2 safeties deep, and they're kind of the last line of defense.
Yeah, that's not too complicated. I got that.
Cover 1 is a little more complicated. You have one safety covering deep, and the other safety covers in the middle underneath. The linebackers usually have zones to either side of the safety. And the corners are man-to-man coverage on the outside.
All right, that makes sense, I guess. Why would the teams want to use cover 1?
Well, for one, it lets one safety play closer to the line of scrimmage, which makes it easier to stop the run. And the outside corners will typically try and stay between their receiver and the boundary, which kind of funnels the receiver towards the middle, towards the deep safety. All of this makes it easier to run the clock out if that's what you're trying to do. Next up is cover 3. This one's pretty similar to cover 1 in that you have one safety cover deep and one safety cover underneath. But the outside corners will drop back into deep zones, covering the other 2/3 of the field. And the linebackers will cover underneath with the other safety.
Okay, so what's the difference between the two?
In cover 3, the outside corners are playing zone instead of man. Cover 1 is typically a lot more aggressive. Teams will blitz from it a lot more often. Cover 3 is more based around defending deep passes. Okay, cover 4 is the next number up. Both safeties and both outside corners cover deep, each covering about a quarter of the field. The rest of the defense will cover underneath that. It's mostly used in prevent defense, and the basic idea is to trade field position for time by giving up a lot of short plays and preventing a big play at all costs.
I've definitely heard the term prevent defense, but it doesn't seem like a very popular option.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of defensive coaches aren't really used to how prolific offenses are now, and they will start using prevent defense too early in a game, and the other team can make a comeback and potentially win.
So any other coverages I should know?
Well, there's coverage 6, which is basically a combination of cover 4 on one side of the field and cover 2 on the other side, depending on where the ball is positioned.
No, that's way too complicated. You've done more than enough. Thanks, Jacob.
And that is all for this week's episode of Pigskin Pundits. Next week, Jacob number 2 will have you covered for NFL strategies, and Jacob number 1, me, will have the NFL news. Thanks for watching.
Man, I can't believe this guy thinks he knows so much about football. And everybody calls him Jacob number 1. I should be Jacob number 1. I'll show them.
I want to thank you all for coming this evening, and I want to thank NWTC for letting me speak. My name is Ian Parks. I am graduating this evening, along with my fellow classmates, for the winter 2015 graduation ceremony. I just wanted to say a few things about my time here at TC that I'm pretty sure everybody can end up relating to. Graduation isn't really the end. I know it sounds cliche, but graduation is the start. It really is the start. It's the culmination of however many years it took us to get to this point, bettering ourselves despite a number of other issues and challenges and commitments that we've made. We all took the time and took the effort to show up and put our best effort into every class we attended. And that counts for something. And this is a celebration of that effort that we took. Going forward into the world, some of you might be coming back to NWTC for another degree program. Some of you might be moving on to a career in your field of study. Some of you might have just been studying at NWTC to learn something new, and that's great too. Going forward, we're going to be better for the time that we spent in these halls, for the time that we spent getting to know each other and our instructors and the things that they had to teach us. We're going to be better for the time that we spent communicating, working in teams, working in groups, working alone, reaching out to the community, utilizing our resources that we had here to solve problems and complete assignments. We're going to be better moving forward. We're going to be better equipped to handle any challenges that we may face in our careers out in the workforce, or even if we're not searching for a new career, just advancing on one that we already have. We're going to be better equipped to handle any challenges that might turn up as we progress with the knowledge that we've gained at NWTC. I just wanted to say thank you. I definitely don't know everybody here that's graduating, but it's been an honor to bump into you in the halls or work with you in class or just see the looks in your faces right now, seeing how proud we all are of each other, individually and as a group, for our commitments to education and excellence. So again, I just wanted to say congratulations, well done, enjoy your night. We've all earned it many times over. And with whatever you decide to do, good luck and God bless.
Hello and welcome to another episode of MTE. With the new Star Wars movie just around the corner, The Martian predicted to be going to the Oscars, and Ridley Scott announcing not only Prometheus 2, but an Alien prequel, it seems that sci-fi is the new go-to genre for Hollywood. I know I'm not complaining because I personally love the sci-fi genre, and with all of this news and excitement towards these new movies, it got me thinking about my favorites from that genre. So with this episode, I wanted to take a look at my personal top 5 best science fiction films. Number 5, Moon. This 2008 sci-fi drama directed by Duncan Jones stars Sam Rockwell and Kevin Spacey in 2 of their best performances. The story revolves around an astronaut, Sam Bell. Sam is sent to the moon for 3 years to collect resources for the Earth, but after getting into a bad crash, he meets a strange individual. Having some outstanding effects and an engaging plot, this film should not be missed.
It's got smarts in it, Gertie.
Sam, can I ask how it happened?
I told you I saw something on TV and I spilled boiling water on my hand.
You saw something on TV?
Yeah, I saw something on TV that distracted me. Is there something wrong with that, Gertie?
Sam, you said it was the TV that distracted you, but when I came in, the TV wasn't on. Perhaps you were imagining things.
Number 4, Interstellar. Christopher Nolan's most recent film, Interstellar is also the most recent film on this list. In the movie, we follow a family struggling to live on what is left of Earth. After receiving an opportunity to save Earth, Cooper, the father, goes out with a team of astronauts to try and save humanity. Having an engrossing and surprisingly emotional plot, fantastic characters, and some deep undertones, I can easily suggest Interstellar to anyone looking for a great film to watch.
We farmers, we sit here every year when the rains fail and we say, next year. Well, next year ain't gonna save us nor the one after that. This world's a treasure, Donald. It's been telling us to leave for a while now.
Number 3, Brazil. Often claimed to be Terry Gilliam's masterpiece, Brazil is a comedy that takes a satire look at the future. In it, the protagonist Sam Lowry, played brilliantly by Jonathan Pryce, is a low-level bureaucrat who escapes his harsh reality by daydreaming. However, these daydreams begin to blend with reality, causing Sam to question everything around him. An odd, surreal, and hilarious film, Brazil is a cult classic that is unique, to say the least.
Getting warm. You couldn't what? Couldn't stand the what? Paperwork. Couldn't stand the paperwork.
Listen, this whole system of yours could be on fire, and I couldn't even turn on a kitchen tap without filling out a 27B/6. Bloody paperwork.
Number 2, Blade Runner. Based on the book Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, Blade Runner is directed by the sci-fi guru Ridley Scott. In it, we follow Deckard, Harrison Ford, on his search to hunt down a group of synthetic humans known as replicants. This film has such an amazing soundtrack, atmosphere, characters, effects, undertones, etc., that I find it easy to suggest Blade Runner to anyone looking to watch not only a great sci-fi movie, but just a great movie in general.
Thank you.
She's a replicant, isn't she?
I'm impressed. How many questions does it usually take to spot one?
I don't get it, Tyrell.
How many questions?
20, 30 cross-referenced.
It took more than 100 for Rachel, didn't it?
She doesn't know.
Number 1, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Was there any doubt that Kubrick's sci-fi epic wouldn't be number 1? 2001 is a sci-fi that practically modernized the genre, creating many things we know and love in sci-fi today. Having absolutely breathtaking cinematography, a fitting soundtrack, extraordinarily impressive effects, and a plot that is thought-provoking to say the least, 2001 is, to me, the king of sci-fi.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
What's the problem?
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
What are you talking about, Hal?
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
So what is your favorite science fiction film? Did you agree with my choices? Make sure to drop a comment below. Check us out on our social media pages. And for anything TC Weekly related, make sure to check out tcweekly.org. This has been another episode of MTE, Movies, Tech, Entertainment News.